Yahoo Plus Plus. What exactly is Yahoo Plus Plus? Because I hear it. Am I carbonating myself again? Now, when I say I don't know what Yahoo
Man,
Plus Plus is,
I actually don't know what Yahoo Plus Plus is. If anybody knows, put it down in the comments.
let's know.
I think Yahoo Plus Plus, if I'm going to take an educated guess, is Yahoo plus some spiritual,
Plus Juju.
yes, plus juju, some spiritual
Ah.
elements to make sure that
Ah.
the maga enters the trap and stays in the
Stays
trap.
entrapped.
Exactly. That's what I think Yahoo Plus Plus
But
is,
you know,
which comes with a lot of dire consequences.
are there really consequences? You know what?
Who knows?
Forgive me if I digress a bit now, if I just take us on another tangent. You know, we were raised with this idea, these morals that you do right, right will come to you. You do wrong, there'll be consequences. I'm seeing a lot of bad people prospering.
Hmm.
And I'm asking myself daily, hey, so when is karma going to catch that guy?
It's a good question.
And when karma catches that guy, is the guy going to know that it's karma catching him? Like,
See, my issue is not even when karma catches the person.
if karma catches him.
If my issue is if and when karma does catch the person, it can't still undo what has happened in the past.
Exactly.
That's my issue. But then there are so many things that we can't answer.
So I mean, you will follow under things that the things that you don't understand, that you can't you really can't understand, because you ever have an adage. If a knife cuts a child, tell them talk about gomo. Even if you melt the knife, or dapa,
What?
child has a scar.
Yeah, it's done what it set out to do.
If somebody causes you grievous pain, even if they come back to you in 10 years to say, I apologize, does that heal the wound? It's one of those things that, you know, one of my struggles, my personal struggles with religion, with Christianity and religion. Don't come for me, please. I'm just saying, it's one of my struggles.
Talk your talk.
Look, where I say, are there really consequences? And why does it take so long?
I think there are consequences.
Does it catch everybody?
I think it's a time thing. I think it might not be glaring. I think consequences comes in different ways. But because it doesn't come in the way you want it to come, you might think there's not a consequence.
I beg, catch that guy. Let me see you catch that guy. Like, what's the point of that guy suffering in silence? That guy hurt me. He didn't hurt me in silence now. Like, why? So he's going to suffer his pain in a silo somewhere. No.
That's part of what I was saying earlier.
Make an example of the bagger.
There are some things that we just don't know.
That we will never understand.
We won't understand.
This life is full of too many mysteries, too many questions, too many unknowns.
So how are you finding Nigeria?
Tough. Tough.
What about it is tough?
This is a land of injustice. This is a land of grave injustice. It's a land where it's the jungle. Forgive me, again, don't come for me. But we have a society where the rule of law doesn't matter. So I'm a lawyer by training. Okay, I spent 12 years studying, as you know. And I tell you something, I don't practice law because I don't understand the fundamentals. The basic contract, the basic rule of law is non-existent here. So you can have a case before the Supreme Court and you're waiting for a date for 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. You can be waiting for a date at the Court of Appeal for 5 years. Then you get your appeal heard. And if you're not happy with it, you go to Supreme Court and you're there for the next 5 years. You'll have a case that will be going on for 13, 20 years. And we say justice denied or justice delayed, justice denied. And so a land where, as a matter of routine, okay, you cannot get justice on time. That's an unfortunate land. And that's the story of this place. It's the story of its pain. It's injustice after injustice after injustice. Look, I don't want to be down on Nigeria, but my experience is I could write you a textbook. I could write you an entire encyclopedia. And people say, maybe one day I'll write my story.
I think you should.
But no one's going to believe me. If you didn't understand my story, you wouldn't believe me now. The things I've been through, you wouldn't believe me. If you didn't know it.
You have to write it first.
So maybe I'll write it.
Yeah. I think you have to write it first.
I think it's a bit self-indulgent. Who wants to read your story? Sir? Who wants to read my story? But
you'll be surprised.
I will name names. With documents, with receipts. But in the end, I struggle.
To what purpose?
To what purpose? To what end?
No, I understand.
It'll probably, I'll name names of prominent guys who sue me. I will win because I have documents. But it doesn't change the pain you've caused, the hurt, because you were greedy, because you were mean. Because at the end of the day, we pay lip service to God. Oh Allah, my Jehovah, we pay lip service to it. But when the Bible says the heart of a man is desperately wicked, who can know it? I think he had us in mind. We're talking about the entertainment economy, the social economy,
the creative economy.
Okay. Creative economy.
Oh, right, got it now.
Yeah, I mean the creative economy, and the hope it gives. It is phenomenal, and I think when you look back on the first iPhone and the Android operating systems and digital technology, I think just like the industrial, it's already trite, right? Like the Industrial Revolution and co. The impact, the raw impact is, it'll take people who would have, there's a guy called Brother Shaggy.
Right? I know Brother Shaggy.
Brother Shaggy, hilarious guy. I love Brother Shaggy to death. And one day watching all these videos, he was talking about his backstory. And I think he said something about how without social media, he probably wouldn't have made it out of where he was coming from. And so digital technology is democratic. It's empowering. It's giving that child a voice and an opportunity to become far, far more than their circumstances ever give them a chance to be. That's how some guys are going to lift their families from poverty. Mohbad lived how many years? Less than 3 decades. But his music will live on forever, and his impact. Talented young man. Okay. I wish he'd lived longer.
Rest in peace, Mohbad.
I think his impact on his family, on generations of his family, would have been even stronger. If he'd just been able to live long enough to make that money and open channels for whether it's his friends, his cousins, family,
other artists, whatever.
We rise by lifting others. And I feel like if he'd lived longer, he'd have had a chance to lift other people where he's coming from and giving them a chance to. Look, creative economy is pretty amazing. We're here. And you have a voice. You are able to talk.
And we didn't have this.
No. So I'm going to tell your mommy that you can't tell Yemi that you want to play football. Or you want to
we didn't have this 20 years ago.
No.
We didn't have this. We're just getting to the cusp of things changing, but again was linked to the birth of the smartphone,
digital age,
and the smartphone having the technology to cope with fast-moving images and loading quickly.
Up Nepa. That's my inverter dying. I have to stop this recording. Can you stop recording? Let me go and figure out what I'm going to do about lights in this house now.
Okay.